There's nothing like being in the garden first thing in the morning as the sun has made its appearance over the horizon. The cool morning air on your skin, the birds waking up to another day, just their chirping sound in the background as I start my morning tending to my vegetable garden puts me at peace. I don't think I went looking for this lifestyle. I think this lifestyle came looking for me. I find it amazing how far we have come from knowing what it feels like to grow our own food. Having gardens or working on a family farm, I feel once we removed our hands from the soil, we lost a part of ourselves. We lost a sense of community. We weren't meant to be sitting behind a desk for hours on end. We weren't meant to be idle. We were meant to be hunters and gatherers. We were meant to have the sun kissing our skin, the wind blowing in our hair, or our hands in the dirt. I love the morning, early morning, when some people are still nestled in their beds. I'm out in my garden dreaming about this year's harvest. All I hear is the birds, grasshoppers, and the bees flying around my head as I bend over to pluck vegetables from their vines. Sometimes I can hear the trees rustling with animal activity, deer jumping over our property fences sometimes, or it's just the wind rustling the leaves in the trees. Even my roosters need to make an impression in the morning. My morning routine consists of feeding all 72 farm animals first, making sure they have water for the day. This farm chore takes me only about 20 minutes. Then as reverse comes sundown, all animals need to be closed in for the night because we have too many predators out here in the country. Raccoons, we have foxes, coyotes, mountain lions, and then we have the flying predators, the owls, the eagles, and the hawks. As I finally get to walk through the garden to inspect my animal damage after my morning animal feedings, I discover even with an 8-foot electric fence, they still seem to find their way in. And today I found damage. Looks like the raccoons found my corn, the field mice found my tomatoes. The raccoon had stripped many ears and broken stalks, climbing on them to get to the ears of corn. Seems they also broke several tomato vines in their search for food. Sometimes it gets so frustrating. Once I'm done looking for the damage of animals in the morning, I then turn to my raised garden beds. I start to remove all the dead foliage and dying foliage from the beds. I do this once a week when summer approaches. Old growth gives way for new growth. Dead foliage brings bad insects to the garden bed as well, especially those that like decomposing vegetation like pill bugs. I then turn over every squash leaf to inspect for bugs on the plants, cutter worms on my tomatoes, aphids, and aphid eggs on my squash plants. I immediately remove those before they can cause more damage to the plant. I think I was a little too late for that one, don't you think? Tucked away under the leaves, I didn't see it. So this is going to be where I'm going to save my seeds from. I heavily water the beds every 2 days. especially if we don't get rain for weeks on end. Sometimes I have to do it twice a day if it's really bad in the upper 90s or 100 to 105. And we get a lot of that come July and August. So I water all the beds, and I think I've told you before I got 136 raised beds. And they're all different sizes. They range from 3 to 4 foot rounds to 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet longs. I even have two 40-foot long beds that are 6 feet wide. And if you broke it down, and if you put 8-foot beds in there, then I would have 10 8x3 beds. Ants. After I heavily water all my beds, I find it's much easier to pull the deep-rooted weeds from them. Weeds are a never-ending story here. I especially like to pull weeds in the garden after a really good soaking rain, which is limited here. We average about 32 inches a year, but the last several years, we were lucky enough if we even got 11 inches. It's looking good. And this year, I'm battling Bermuda grass in several raised beds, as well as the weeds. The constant rain we had the last several weeks has caused the grass and the walking paths around my raised beds to hit about high level or higher, and in those weeds you get chiggers. I usually weed eat my garden twice a year in the spring and summer, but on this day I'm on my 4th weeding, and it's only late June. Do you hear that? Nothing but the birds this morning. Just me, my garden, and the birds. What a lovely morning. I've come a long way since 2008 when I first started gardening. I started square foot gardening with 6 raised beds, and they were 4x4s. They did well. I liked the idea, but as I started to grow my garden, to which it is now 10,000 square feet with 136 raised beds, the square foot gardening technique just didn't fit into what I was doing in my new expanding garden. But let's be realistic. Gardening isn't romantic. I'm not wearing a flowing linen skirt with a floppy straw hat walking through the lush garden, carrying my basket of perfectly cleaned and stacked harvest vegetables for everyone to see. Nor do I have a baby papoose on my back. Nor is my long hair flowing in the wind, and I'm not showing you a perfectly manicured garden. So let me be realistic here. Well, let me be frank. I'm in shorts and a sweaty t-shirt most of the time. Okay, all of the time. My shirts and shorts are usually stained with dirt because I keep wiping my hands on my clothes. And the end of my t-shirt I use as a sweat rag. I wipe my sweaty brow with it, and a lot of the time I'm out feeding animals or tending to the morning garden chores in my PJs. Most of the time I don't wear a hat, and my hair is always up since I hate sweaty hair on the nape of my neck, and my hair is always windblown, in my eyes, or on my face, and it's just never neat. So as you can see, I have weeds. I have grass growing higher than my knees in the walking paths. I have dying plants, and I have bug problems. And then there is just years that no matter what I did, Mother Nature laughed and said, "Nope, not this year." She kicked me in my teeth many times in the 17 years I've been gardening, but I keep coming back, stronger the next year, more determined, more knowledge under my belt. I did a lot of research over the winter as to why that crop failed. Armed with a new technique, I had new knowledge, and it definitely had a new attitude. I felt I could do anything. I do get frustrated at times, especially after my growing season is over. But come January, I have the bug again. I'm eager, waiting to get back out to the garden. I'm looking through my seed catalogs. I'm digging through all of my seed collections that I have. I'm getting the first seeds in my soil ready, my hands in the dirt, and start all over again. And I'm hoping this year will be better than last year's. Good night, everyone.